A saying that's really impacted on me is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And what I think is really important, if we're talking about going together, we must talk about the students going along with us.
Because we are children, it's one thing for an adult to take a guess at what children want and need in a community, but for it to come straight from the child, it's not a guess, it's a definite what we want.
To see the excitement on the children's faces and almost the surprise that somebody else really was listening to them and really did ask them.
We found that the children were saying that only adults make decisions, it's usually a man and it's always a boss. So we put forward another question, can you make decisions? Do you have a right to make decisions?
So what does it mean to have an opinion? What does it mean to be listened to? What does it mean when we say we're taking something seriously?
Everyone has a voice, some more dominant than others, but it's our job to allow everybody to speak up.
I think it's critical that children have a role and a voice in community engagement, just as it is for anyone who's affected by decisions that we're trying to make and policies that we're trying to develop.
I think one of the key challenges to engaging with children's voices is knowing and believing in children's capability and capacity for this kind of engagement. Another key challenge is also about moving beyond tokenistic displays to sustained engagement with children so that adults can explore deeper and deeper the meanings that children are expressing. And that is a really important thing to be doing, but it's also a challenging thing.
For council, it's really important to engage with children, as our core role is to work with the community, and we consider everyone who lives in the area to be residents and community members. It would be remiss not to see children in that important role.
Children and young people's voices is really important in our community. Although they might not be those voting members, they certainly have a lot to offer. So a lot of what we are building in our community is for our children and young people, so why wouldn't we go and talk to them about that?
We want to empower the children so that they get an understanding that they're not just people in the community who have to do as is dictated to them by adults, but where they can have some say, some choice over what happens in their lives, and to learn that from the earlier stages of their lives.
I think probably if we're going to be making decisions within our society, within our communities, we have to take on board what children and young people are saying. I think children and young people are a gift really to the society that they live in, and we really need to pay attention to what they're saying and to their experiences and perspectives if we're going to build a future for them.
Child Friendly SA is an initiative led by the Department for Education and Child Development. It's based on the UNICEF international model of child-friendly cities. UNICEF's framework aims to support communities at a local level to implement the United Nations Convention on the Right of the Child.
Engaging with children's voices is part and parcel of children's rights. In 1989, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child affirmed the child's right to be consulted about decisions affecting their lives. This very clearly positions children as key informants about matters that impact on them, and it acknowledges children's wisdom and capacity to so engage.
Article 12 of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child states that children have the right to their own opinion and to be able to express their own ideas, particularly on matters which affect them. Their opinion needs to be listened to and taken seriously.
It's really important, therefore, to have practices and policies and standards put in place to ensure that all children's voices are engaged as active citizens. Otherwise, some children have privileged voices while others are silenced.
I have to commend the South Australian Government in a big way for actually being very progressive in this. It doesn't take a massive amount of investment. It just takes a shift in perspective and expertise, clearly, in being able to draw out of the children maybe not their first ideas, but their second and third ideas. To have that skill of listening is something I think that they have embraced very well indeed.
Children's participation sits right at the heart of child-friendly SA because it's one of the 4 key principles of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. So what we're asking communities to do is start to really listen to children, listen to what they're saying, really seek to understand what they're saying, and to respond to them appropriately in relation to local decision making and local planning.
It's a wonderful initiative from the point of view of planners and local government, in the sense that you get a perspective, a new perspective, a perspective of the actual users of the facilities and services being provided. And children have the most wonderful concept of their own environment and what they feel should happen. So you get a very valuable addition to the planning consultative process.
By ensuring that we understand what children, young people and their families really want in their communities, we can ensure better use of resources and more relevant use of resources. So whether it's building playgrounds or anything else that occurs in the community, by recognising children are part of the community and they make up 25% of our communities in South Australia, it ensures that what is being planned and achieved really meets everyone's needs.
The outcomes that we've seen in regard to activities are children that feel empowered, that have a voice and want to be a part of different things. The ownership around the community and the excitement and passion in being involved in what they're doing and how they can have a voice in shaping and leading what happens in the future. Our kids are part of our community, and operating from a whole of community perspective means that they're included. So we are having a community that's inclusive of all facets, and children and family are a vital component of that.